Hello, everyone. How is doing? All right, fantastic. So let's get started. I see that we are live. So we are going to talk today about how investment visas work. So we're talking specifically US immigration. The type of visas that we are going to talk about are investment visas. So coming to the United States after an investment, and how the process works, what you should do, how can you get it, and so on. So let's talk about that. First things first, remember that this is a forum where you ask confidential information, but general questions, please put them in the chat, and I'll be more than to address them. My eyes are all over the place, as usual, because I go into YouTube and Facebook and TikTok and so on. So I look where the chats are, and I will try to address your questions the best I can as soon as I can. If I don't get to your question right away, don't worry, I will get to it. Okay, so let's talk first, while you guys are typing your questions in, let's talk about how investment visas work. So generally speaking, there are two types of visas to the United States. General non-immigrant visas, where you come to the United States on a temporary basis for a period of time to invest in the United States, create jobs, make a profit, and then eventually go back home or find another way to obtain permanent residency. There is also an option to come to the United States and get permanent residency through investment. That one is EB-5 program. Let's talk about that one first, get it out of the way, and then we are going to talk about two more popular options, okay? So EB-5 is for those individuals who want to invest a significant amount of money in the United States. And in order to do that, they are going to have two options. One of them is invest in a regional center, and one second option is to invest in their own business. Depending on which one you pick, you have different investment amounts, okay? If you are investing in a regional center, it's $800,000 right now, could change again. And if you are investing in direct business, say you open your own restaurant, for example, then it's 1.050 million, okay? In addition to that investment, you have to show the government that you are going to create at least 10 full-time jobs for those individuals who are able and willing and are authorized to work in the United States. That is not just US citizens, is other people who are permanent residents or otherwise work authorized in the United States. So EB-5, it's not very common. It is common, more people from countries with which we don't have a treaty, or where dollar amounts, the dollar exchange is different. That's a very attractive option for them. China, Russia comes to mind. In general, most people will go with the non-traditional options, the non-permanent option. They will go with an E2 or an L1. Those are temporary in nature, okay? What's the difference between those two? E2 requires that the United States have a treaty with your country. If we don't have a treaty, you are just simply not eligible for that visa, and you don't even start the process, okay? If we do have a treaty with your particular country, then you need to invest, open the business, or buy a franchise, or whichever way it is. And then you have to show with a business plan that you are going to save jobs from disappearing. For example, say the owner of the current business is retiring, and those people who work for that business would lose their jobs. Or if you are opening a brand new business, that you are going to create those jobs. So that is one of the requirements. You have to invest what makes sense for the business. The biggest question we get from almost everyone is, what is the dollar amount that I need to invest for this particular type of business? And I said this before on a couple of other videos. It really depends on the type of business. If you're opening a coffee shop, it's going to be totally different than if you're opening a manufacturing plant. If you're opening a logistical company, it's going to be different than web design, right? It also depends. Are you coming from, say, a country where we have the dollar is not very strong, or you're coming from Switzerland? So it really depends. All right. So think about those things that require a treaty. We're going to go into how the process works in a second, but we do have to have the treaty. You have to have the money to invest. You have to put the money at risk. What does that mean? You have to invest, have the business ready to operate or operating before you're even applying for the visa. You can apply to different ways locally in the United States if you're already here and in status, or you can apply if you are outside the United States to go to the consulate. In most cases, we apply for both if the person is in the United States, because you never know which one could be faster. Right now, it's slow anywhere. Second option is L1 visa. But before I get to that, let's see if we get questions. Hi, Tatiana, I see you. Do you have particular questions? I see you on Facebook. Let's see who on TikTok has questions. How long does it take to get approved employment authorization document based on EB3 unskilled? Was your EB3 already approved and you already applied for the green card? And if that is the case, then, and I assume that is the case, then the processing time would be about 7 to 9 months. Okay, let's see. Fantastic. All right, let's see. Awesome. So that's the one question we got so far. If you guys have more questions, please put them up. They don't have to refer to visas based on investment. They can be based on anything else. Just ask your question and I'll try to address it. How long exactly do we have to wait to apply for citizenship after we get the green card? It depends on which category did you get your green card. I am assuming that you're talking about EB3 unskilled. You can apply for after you get that green card, you have to wait 5 years to apply for citizenship, and exactly 4 years 9 months. Okay, after you have based on your EB3. All right, so let's talk a little bit about L1s. So you've been here, we talked about EB5 a little bit, not into too much detail. I don't see that many people here interested in the EB5. E2 is really for those from people with which we have a treaty. Now, L1 is considered a dual intent visa. And it's a very good visa if you qualify. So what does it mean to qualify for an L1 visa? First, we don't need to have a treaty with the country. Okay, so let's say you are from Venezuela. We do not have a treaty with Venezuela, so we cannot qualify you for an E2. If you have a business, for example, in Venezuela in this particular instance, and you have been on payroll for that business for at least 1 year out of the 3, okay, or you own your own business, you're the executive or manager, or you work for someone else who wants to open a subsidiary or affiliate in the United States. Basically, they want to open a branch or another location in the United States, and they need you, executive manager or person with specialized knowledge, to come to the United States to handle the opening of the branch and the business in the branch until it picks up and the business goes as normal. Until that time, you will need to you need to apply for the L1 visa. It's a dual intent. Why is it considered a dual intent? Okay, it's considered dual intent because after a period of time, you are eligible to apply for a green card based on the same application. So you have your L1 approved, you are applying for renewal again, and depending on how the business, when you can apply for a green card. Both of these, E2 and L1s, are very good options if you want to come to the United States for 5-6 years. in case of the L1, and then you want to apply for the green card, or in those 5-6 years you have, perhaps through your spouse or perhaps through other ways, through employment or your spouse's employment, you have ways to obtain a green card that makes sense. It's a very good option to get your foot in the door and be in the United States. That being said, you can also do E2. You're just going to have to be here longer, perhaps. If you don't have other options, theoretically, E2, the biggest advantage to E2 over L1 is that if you are here on E2, you can extend it forever and ever and ever. L1 actually ends after a while, okay? After 6-7 years, you have to go. So those are the big pros and cons on E2s and L1s. We do many of those. E2 from Canada, for some reason, seems to be very, very popular. E2 from Spain is very popular right now. And right now we have a few pending from the Netherlands, New Zealand, Switzerland. We have quite a few. So those are just very good. Let's see, questions. I have personal questions. Can I inbox you, please? If you have personal questions, you should not use the inbox. You should not use anything. If you have personal question and you need personalized advice, the best way is for you to book a consultation with an experienced immigration attorney who can look at your immigration history, criminal history, education history, family history, and absolutely determine if that is the right visa for you. Okay, or what is the right visa for you? What are your options to come to the United States? If it is a personal question, you need to book a consultation, okay? I'm a software engineer with 5 years enterprise experience. Any hope for me? Yes, perhaps. We wouldn't know. There is a lot more involved than just your educational experience. And you first need, for all of you who are here talking about employment-based options, first things first, you need to get a job. You need to have a job offer from a U.S. employer. Without a job offer from a U.S. employer, your options are very limited. There are some categories that may enable you, that may allow you to apply for employment-based applications, green card through employment, on your own. But that requires that you have an advanced degree, not just a bachelor's degree in most cases, or bachelor's and a lot of experience. But they all require that you have you're very well known in your field, that whatever they are, if they are going to grant you a green card, it's in the national interest of the United States. So you need to know those things, okay? You need to know what you have to offer to the United States to see if you qualify for an immigration option that doesn't require you to have an employer first, okay? The best way is to book a consultation with an experienced immigration attorney to go over that, okay? Yeah, so you have hope, absolutely, but you just need to find an employer first. We cannot help you find an employer. We cannot help you find a wife or a husband. We can't help you with any of those things. You need to find them on your own, and we can help you with the process. Hi, Jay, you have an E1 from Canada. Fantastic. So am I eligible for work permit in the US? If you already have an E1 visa, E1 alone is your work permit. You do not need to apply for a special work permit, okay? So I'm confused a little bit. If you already have it, you are already in the United States. However, the only way is for you to work in your business. You cannot work for somebody else. So why would you need a work permit? You have the E1 that allows you to work for your own business. Perhaps give me a little bit more information, okay? All right, so we discussed EB5, we went over E2 and L1. So unless there are more questions, I went over it. Let's see. I don't see many on Facebook right now. I don't see any on YouTube. That's fantastic. Awesome. So I hope I was able to help some of you today. Oh, look, I had a question. There you go. So am I eligible for work permit in the US? If you have E1, you already have your A1, your E1, okay? I was trying to call you, but wasn't able to get through. I need to know more information on that. Send us a message. Tell us exactly what do you mean you weren't able to get through. Did somebody answer the phone? Did they not answer the phone? What exactly is going on? So I understand, so I can help you. Olivia wants to know how long they use visa. How long do the visas take to get approved? Look, there are 185 different types of visa. How long does it take to get approved? Honestly, it depends on the type of visa. It depends. Okay, much better question. The U visa. Got it. So U visa, I'm assuming you are in the United States and you are the victim of a crime. Please tell me, Jay, what number you called. You are the victim of a crime and you got the certification from the law enforcement. And once you got the certification, your U visa is pending, your I-360 is pending. If that's the case, they could take up to 8 years right now. Okay. So Olivia, hopefully that helps. 8 years. You, with the receipt that you got from your U visa for the 360, you can check the processing time online on your own. All right. Jay, can you tell me the phone number you called? Please. I really want to look into this. I want to see how come we didn't answer the call, because this doesn't sound like us. All right. So yeah, that's how long the U visa takes. See if you are maybe under your specific U visa, depending on when you applied, you might be able to have a work permit while the case is pending. Let us know, okay? Okay, so you called 954-466-0070. So that's our number. Jay, if you send me a message, put it in the TikTok, you're on TikTok, send me a message with your number. We'll have somebody give you a call back, because that's very unusual, okay? I'll try, I'll see what's going on, but thank you for telling me that. That's important. Look, you are E1, right? So you are a business trader. You understand the importance of getting feedback, so we make sure that our businesses are running and make sure everything is running the way you are supposed to. And so, feedback like this is very important for every business owner, okay? So Jay, I appreciate that, all right? Thanks for telling me that. Send me your number so we can look into that. How can I get a work permit visa from Ghana? There is no such thing as a work permit visa. It's a work visa from Ghana. It doesn't matter much where you're from. First things you need to do, Godwin, is to get an employer who is willing and able to petition and sponsor you. So since we are on this topic, by the way, H-1B registration for those people with at least a bachelor's degree and who have an employer willing to sponsor them starts on March 1st. So you need to find an employer willing to register and go through the process with you before then to not miss out on this H-1B. Okay, see you all. We have been, oh, look, somebody else had a question. So what's the difference between E1 and E2? Yes, E1, it's trader, and E2, it's investor. So the eligibility criteria is different. For E1, you need to have significant trade between the two countries, and more than 1% needs to be in the United States. For an E2 is different. You're investing in the United States and running a business in the United States. All right. We did answer most of the questions here, so I will see you guys later on.